Okay folks, we have a beautiful roadside rescue this week. Stick around and see what we can do with it. All solid wood in pretty good shape. And we can do a little refinish job.
So we finished this piece, this fabulous piece. Sometimes I wonder when Paul brings something home, I'm not sure, but this particular piece, we fell in love with it. This was down our street. Someone was letting go of it for free, and we were really excited because it is solid wood. It is a great, great piece. I love times like this where it's just a really great find. So we are leaving in our kitchen for now. We've been wanting a piece for that little corner for a while, and we really want it to be a special piece of furniture that stood out from the cabinets. We didn't want it to look like an extension of the cabinets. We wanted to have some character in the kitchen. We really wanted a certain type of piece. And I'll be honest, friends, I didn't think we would find a solid wood piece like this. I am overjoyed. It looks like it belongs here and that it's been here for a long time. It gives it a little bit of age to the kitchen, which I really love, in that cottage feel. If you saw in the beginning, the piece had a orangey wood look to it, and that wasn't going to cut it. So, and it had the brass handles and whatnot. Although it's nice, and I don't see that there's not a place for that, for us, our particular style, it just didn't fit. We didn't want to have to go out and get new hinges and knobs and pulls because this piece was free. I can honestly say this whole piece was free. Everything we had to do this over was on hand, which is really cool. Sometimes you just get a unique piece like this, and it was exciting. It's really a beautiful piece. It's beautifully made. It's very solid wood. It even has the magnetic shut, so when you shut it, it clicks and closes properly. It's just beautiful, and obviously it was taken care of and loved very much. So thank you to our neighbors down the street who are getting rid of this. With the handles, they had the two brass handles on each side. Paul covered up the holes with a little putty. We were going to go with a dowel inside, but we couldn't find any on hand, and again, we just didn't want to put money into this. So it probably could use another touch up, but I kind of like that it has a little character to it. I'm not one who likes it absolutely perfect. I really like there to be some character and age, and like a little beat up sometimes. It's like it's lived a whole life. The handle we had on hand, it's a drawer pull. We had one left over, and we thought, I think I would really like, and I told Paul, the one in the center. It just goes with our look, and it matches our cabinet pulls, which is really great. So it just gave that extension of that look. Sorry about the wobbles, folks, on the camera. The hinges and the knobs on the bottom are the same exact ones. We just spray painted it black with black spray paint that we had on hand. The if you've been watching us for a while, you know we love that driftwood look, that gray wash. As you saw in the previous part of this video, I was doing a gray paint that we actually made up with different paints together to kind of make this new color. We did the gray along with a rag instead of a paintbrush, and some stain. I believe it was a dark walnut. One side with the gray paint, and then the other hand with the stain. So we just kind of kept going back and forth and wiping it as we went, and it gave it that driftwood look. I really wanted the knots to show through. I really wanted it to be seen for its character, but we gave it that little gray wash. You can really see the knots coming through, and I really liked it. This is a piece that fits perfectly here. The only problem is this took the place of where our trash bin was, so we're gonna have a new place for that. It's making me rethink that, but this piece right here was 100% free, along with the knobs and the pulls and the paint and the stain. Everything was free, so we're really excited about it. Tell us what you think. So in here we placed the napkin rings and the trivets, the wine cork and whatnot, juicing tools, and a couple of random dishes. We kept that so it's separated from things and we can find it a lot easier. And at the bottom here we have our two griddles, which were on top of our fridge before, so now because we use it so often during the week, it's very convenient having it here in this cabinet where it's easily reachable. And then we have some bowls and some chargers for the summer, things that we just are kind of just floating around, and we don't really have a space for them except they're kind of squeezed in with other things. So now it actually has a special spot for it. So this really did increase our cabinet space and drawer space, but also we really love the look of it. we're doing a project today that I had seen before and I really liked it, and I'm going to do it a little differently, but I'm basically doing something similar. We're going to make these little Christmas trees, and what you're going to need is this 3-pack of wet foam. You want this floral foam. These buckets were at Dollar Tree years ago, and I've kept them for a long time. Because of the size of these, I'm cutting these bricks in half. All you need is a little, like a steak knife, a serrated steak knife. I'm putting it in the bucket here in the sink because it's going to leave a lot of this green debris. So basically I'm shaping it into a tree, and the shavings that are left, here's one finished already. It doesn't have to be a perfect tree shape because it's going to be covered, and I'll explain in a moment. So what I'm doing is I'm going to cut this into like triangle shapes. We're going to cut it on all 4 sides as close to the tree as possible, and you keep shaving it down till you're happy with it. And then I'm kind of on each corner, I'm kind of cutting a little more so it starts to have more of a tree shape. As I go down the sides, I trim a little bit more and more because you want it to fit in the bucket. So you have to keep kind of pushing it in and looking at it to make sure. Just keep trimming it till it fits. And there we have it. So it doesn't have to go all the way to the very bottom to touch it. In fact, I want it a little taller. So what I'm doing is I'm taking these shavings, kind of pushing them at the bottom to lift this higher. And you can push it down. These are just pieces, so it doesn't matter if you kind of misshapen it by pushing it. So there, I think we have a good height here. But again, it doesn't have to be a perfect shape. It's just so when you're making your tree, you'll still hold a little bit of that shape. So I might shape these a little bit more. And all these little pieces, you can save them for a future project, or you can just throw them out. It's up to you. But we need to soak these overnight. But with these little pieces in here, I'm going to soak them with water overnight. You just want to soak it and then kind of push it down. We'll hold in all that water. And with these foam pieces, I'm going to just stick them in the water, roll them around. These pieces are going to soak overnight. And the reason I'm doing them overnight is I really want it to retain all that water because this is going to need to last the whole season. So let me explain the project. So we have our buckets and we have our foam. What's going to be at the bottom, kind of holding these up a little further because we really want it to be tall enough. We're going to, tomorrow in the morning, place these in the buckets, and I'm going to cut some boxwood. I'm going to stick them in, and we're going to build up this tree. And I have some little balls that I had gotten in a package from Dollar Tree, and they're white ones and they're silver ones, and I'm going to decide tomorrow which ones I'm going to use, and I'm going to hot glue them around. It's almost like little ornaments, and then we're going to put a pretty ribbon on the outside. We're going to make it look really sweet for Christmas. Usually about 7 hours is the key, but it's okay if it's more like 5 or 6 hours. I'm just going to do it overnight so it gets a really good soak in there. But there we go, and we'll see tomorrow what happens next. Hi everyone. So these were sitting overnight. We have a little wobble to them, so we're going to just put a couple toothpicks. Paul's suggestion, I think that's pretty smart. It's a little wiggle to it still, but I think they'll stay more sturdy this way. Might even add like a third one. If you have a certain bucket where you don't need to shave off the bottom or cut too much, and you don't have to, remember we added some extras and I pushed it down and added some water, so it gave us a base. And this is why I'm doing the toothpicks and why I'm sticking it in there. If you just had, yeah, see, that's much better. If we didn't, good idea, Paul. So if you didn't have that and you just could stick it in the whole thing, you wouldn't need the toothpicks. So that's why I'm doing that. Okay, so now from our yard, before the next bout of rain, we got out there in time and we cut some of this boxwood. So what I'm going to do is just shave off some of the leaves with my fingers here. And I'm going to start sticking them in the floral piece here, the floral foam, I should say. I have my snippers with me because some are large branches. You want to leave maybe a few inches off like that so you can stick that in there properly. I'm going to trim it a little because it's going through to the other side. So the reason why we soak this and wet this is we want it to live, because this is real boxwood. If you have something like a fake boxwood, you can do this with you won't even need this really, but if you do use it, you just don't have to soak it. We're very lucky to have boxwood on our property. Paul and I were just talking about it this morning, that it's worth growing more. So I think we're going to do that down the road. And some of these have a shell of a leaf, and it almost looks like a berry. It is a cup, and it looks really cool because it looks like a little berry on there just in time for the season. I am leaving this kind of shaggy. I probably should trim it a little bit more, but I kind of like this actually. But go with how you feel. If you wanted a little more trimmed back, you can do just that. Before I go on to the next layer, I'm just making sure it's nice and thick. And I'm going to keep going upwards and layering. So with the top, I'm going a little bit with the smaller, thinner pieces. And it gets to a point where you just can't add anymore because you'll probably rip a hole through it. So that's where I'm going to stop, and I'm going to add on the top going down, a little top here. I'm going to push it down as far as I can. And this is where I'll come in and I'll start trimming, because you want to see that tree shape. I don't know if we're going to totally see a tree shape, but I think it'll look really pretty either way. Be good to like hold it up, just look at it from a different angle. So this really didn't do the tree shape too well. So what I'm going to do is maybe add a couple more if I can get them in there. But I think Paul had a good suggestion, and I think that's where I messed up. I think we're smaller pieces on the bottom and eventually work your way up, I think would be really helpful. So I think this one would be a good one on our table to make just like a little arrangement here. And the other ones I'm trying to get into a tree shape. This is more of a little just a regular arrangement, I think, but I think it's okay. I think it works for the middle of our table. I like it nonetheless, whether it's a tree shape or not. I really like how it is. Just keep picking it up and looking at it until you're happy with it. When you have little pieces left, just kind of add to it to add to the fullness. Try to make sure it sticks in that foam so it will stay hydrated. You want it to last the whole season. So there's the first one. And what I'm going to do is add, after I've done both, I'm going to add a little ribbon around it. And I decided to keep it black because I think it looks really classy that way. But by all means, feel free to spray paint it white, red, whatever you feel you're inspired by. Even red might look really neat if you want that green and red look. To get boxwood in your yard and you don't know anyone who would be willing to give you some cuttings, you can really use any greens. I just particularly like boxwood, and we happen to have it. We used to grow holly. Holly would be a great solution, and you can even have it a little bushier with some other greens. I just particularly like the shape of boxwood, and that you can take that shape and kind of maneuver it a little bit. But honestly, they all work. So I was hoping for tree shapes, but as you know, I've said before, the crafts are just not my thing, and I meant it. But what happens with me a lot is honestly, and this was like not an idea I had myself originally, this was an idea I saw on the channel. It was really, really cool. And I realized a couple of my mistakes. I think a lot of it was I didn't have enough of a tall brick. I really needed a taller brick, and I shouldn't have maybe cut that down, but also you need a bigger bucket to withhold that brick. So I think it needed to be a nice big tall. I had cut the bricks in half because of the small bucket. What I should have done is literally tried to shave off the bottom and just kept the brick really tall, is what I should have done, and I would have had my stacked tree. Unfortunately, what I have here is just a ball or an arrangement of some kind, which is fine, and I'm going to keep it, but I'm kind of heartbroken because I really want it. I may try it again. I do have more bricks, and I have bigger containers from the garden, some outdoor planters, and I think I'm just going to keep these as arrangements. But to say I'm heartbroken is an understatement. This is kind of what happens with me, folks. I have these big ideas, and I get excited, and then they fall apart. And at least it's pretty enough with the arrangement, but I think that's my mistake. So if you're looking to do more of a tree shape, maybe do a bigger, taller brick, and you definitely want a bigger base so it can fit it. And then the great thing about Boxwood is you can kind of clip it as you go, and it has like a really pretty ball shape. I was looking for like some little pieces to stick in there, but getting to the point where I'm just getting my clippings, but you do want to make sure it sticks in there. But I have it kind of oddball shape because I don't have any long enough. I didn't cut enough is what happened. It's starting to rain again, so I'm not going to go out there. However, I'm going to kind of fiddle with it a little bit off camera, and I'll show you the result when it's done. But also, I may tinker with a tree, and I'll put it on as a short because it won't make this video in time, but I will show you how to do it, and I'm gonna mess with it a little bit and try to figure it out for you. But if anything, you have these cute little bowl-shaped, I would just call it an arrangement because it's not really a topiary, it's not really a ball shape, so we're gonna say it's an arrangement. When I am done here, I'm gonna take a little break for breakfast, and because it's early in the morning here, and I'm going to maybe put a little bow around these, and I'll show you the finished result soon. All right, so had my breakfast. I feel a little better now. So I've gotten some different ideas, and I was trying to see what I want for ribbon. I like this because I do want to splash of red with the gold trim, but I think I'm going to go with more of a thinner ribbon. It's a little shinier satin. I just like that it's plain and it's thinner. And then I had these. I had taken these off of, I believe, Dollar Tree items that I had. I had taken them off of it, but I wanted to save it for whatever, and I think I'm going to put that in the center of the ribbon and just try to add a little flourish to it, and I think it'll look really pretty. And then I have these are the balls I was talking about. They come at the Dollar Tree. Some are all white, some are all silver. This is kind of a mix of both. I'm going to put that here and there to just decorate it inside, but here we go. So when you open the package, it has a little bit of tape at the end. I'm going to use that as my guide for now. Won't be able to do that on the second one, but I'm going to, just to kind of see as I work around it, where I want the ribbon to be. I might have it a little higher. And I'm not going to make a bow at it because I have that flourish at the end. So we're just going to cut enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we're going to fix it as we go. So I've decided I'm going to, where the pail, where it comes down, and I'm going to do that, this handle here. I want that in the back because it just gets in the way. And also, I think I am going to have it at the top so it can go around really smoothly. And the way I cut it, there is a gap here. That's okay because our flourish is going to be right in the center. You won't notice it. For this part, I'm going to use some clear tape just to hold it down. And in some of the spots where it's just kind of sticking up a little, I'm going to put a little dot just to hold that ribbon in place. Be really careful with your fingers, folks, because this is really painful if you burn yourself. So then where that tape is, I'm going to just do a bit of glue there, and I'm going to put my little flourish on there. go. So we're just going to leave the handle on this side so this will be nice and open. But there's our little pail. And I don't mind it black. I consider doing it white, but I think I like it this way. What do you think, Paul?
I like it a lot like that. The black with the red is really sharp contrast.
That's great. Okay, this one again, I'm going to cut it a little bit longer, but this time I'm going to be better with the cutting because I now know that I'm going to have it at the top. Again, you want to tape it in place first so it stays put with a clear tape. Right where that comes together with the tape, I'm going to put that flourish. Trim a couple of loose ribbon pieces. There we go. So now we have these little balls here. I like the silver and I like the white, so I'm going to, now this is real, this isn't fake, so we're going to see how it goes on with the glue. Put a little dot on with the glue and just put it somewhere randomly on the plant. Glue it to it. Oh, it looks cute. I'm going to do silver and white on both of them. And they're nice and glittery, so they're going to really shine in certain lighting. It's going to be really pretty. These little ones make me nervous because I do not want to get any glue on my fingers. They really hurt. They're very, very hot glue. Here's one. There. That's a hot gun. Please be careful with this, guys. And there they are, all finished. Again, they didn't come out like I wanted, but I think it turned out okay because we have a little arrangement now and it's very festive. And I may do the tree one. I may attempt it again and I'll show it as a short. But even if I don't, I really like these. And now you have the finished piece with our little decorative item to finish it off. But I love the way it came out. Kudos to Paul for picking this up for free. The entire project was free. So see what you can find in your area or surrounding areas. Look at the make of it and is it well built? If it is, you can always cosmetically change it and you have a free piece. And we just ended today with a little bit of a craft to kind of Christmasize. Yes, Christmasize. I said it, folks. Christmasize, new word. We just Christmased this whole area and I'm very happy with it. What do you think, folks? So here we are. We haven't sat down with you guys in a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
We just wanted to say thanks again for joining our channel. We're so appreciative and we had another great year. We're nearing the end of another year. Well, not a year for us, but another year end almost. We are going to be on here for another few weeks, I think it is, but the week before,
weeks.
Yeah. So, or days before, I should say, days before Christmas, we will be having our last episode for the year, and we'll take a couple weeks off, and we'll be back at the new year, and hard to imagine it's another year, in 2024. So we'll be here for another few weeks, and then we'll disappear for a couple weeks to have a vacation for the holidays. But we wanted to say thank you again for subscribing. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It really helps support our channel. We'd love to have you along for the ride. We have great new ideas coming for 2024. We're trying to change the format of how we do things a little bit. We hope that you'll be patient with us and hopefully join us.
We really appreciate you watching, so don't forget to give us a thumbs up and maybe throw us a comment, question or anything you want to say. We'd love to have that little interaction, so thanks for watching.
We hope you've enjoyed our free redo this episode.
Yeah, a little Roadside Rescue. We really enjoyed it. It was a fun project for us, so we hope you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, and our little craft here.
Came out beautiful.
Thank you. But it was a lot of fun. It didn't turn out the way we wanted, but it was a lot of fun. We hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.